When I first started out in rabbits, I asked myself over and over again, what do I need? What do I really need? What do I not need? And to have ideas, really, I saw other people's rabbitries. I saw what worked for them. I saw what might work for me. I saw what didn't work for me that worked for them. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to go through some things that what I found useful in my rabbitry. Maybe you will in yours as well, and maybe not, but at least you'll have a little bit of something to go on, a little more to go on. Okay, first, feed, places to put your feed. Now I have a storage building that I have the big barrels, and I take the bags and I just put them inside the 50-gallon buckets, 50-gallon drums. But I use these. And this has my pellets, which I use as Petrus pellets. I use a little calf manna when the does are lactating. These are my alfalfa and Timothy hay cubes. And then down in the bottom is my bucks feed. I feed them a different feed, and then I also feed my rabbits here, the does, whenever it gets real hot in summertime. I do not normally breed them, so they will go on a lower percentage feed. I found this works really nice, is having you a water bucket or a water pitcher or something to put water in. And grabbers. For me, those work really nice because on my rabbit's cages here are very wide, very deep. So it's difficult for me to reach in. But if I take I always check in their water. So this lets me be able to check their water, make sure it's running good. Mama, of course, sometimes she likes to play with it. There you go, little mama. And it lets me be able to get in there, grab items if I need to, and the such. So that is something that's really come in handy. Extension cords, electric coming out to your rabbitry is very nice to have. Heat lamps. I use those in the wintertime when it's cold. Here in Southeast Texas, we get hot, we get cold during the winter. So when it's going to be cold and I have kits, or they're going to have kits, I use a heat lamp. Now I only use a 40-watt bulb. You may be able to get by with a 60-watt. I just place it over their cage will be down here, and I'll place it over the cage. And so I use a 40, and it helps keep that chill off. I may try 60. If you use a 60, please let me know. Water. I got some feed in there already. Water holders. Now, I do have the Alto water feeders, which you see right back there. But when they're little bitty babies and they're just learning to drink and just learning to eat, I put their water in a bowl and give that to them, so that way it's easier for them to drink from. A lot of times mama likes to drink from it too. Something for them to get in. These are just dish pan bins, and they cost me like $2-3 at Target. And I just bought a bunch of them. I drilled holes in the bottom, and they absolutely love them. Either they turn them upside down and they stand on them, or they turn them the other way and they get in, or they pull it up to their. In the wintertime, it's really cute because you'll see them moving it around to wherever it is they're eating. Like if they're drinking, all of a sudden the little bin is they're inside it and they're drinking from the bin. Then I come back in and I'm looking, and the next thing I know, they're in the bin and they're over here and it's by the food. So they love their bins. They really do get excited when you put them in. And for some reason, someone keeps moving the water. Why do you do that, baby girl? Huh, Cutter? Look at these little babies. I love that color. Now, she's a New Zealand, full-blooded, and she is bred to a Californian. And he's a full-blooded Californian. And this is the first time I've had these colors. It's more like a silver. Look at that. I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google that and see what color that is. Okay, so we got to fill up water again because Mommy likes drinking out of the water bottle too, or water bowl. Of course, you're gonna need feeders. I get a huge feeder for the cages that are for does. I get a smaller feeder for my grow out cages, or I do not know why that wants to always hang cockeyed. You know, it gets on my nerves because I like everything right. Anywho, you know, you get the smaller feeders. These came with some cages I had bought from Rabbitry that was going out of business. And I just made a top for them. And it's like roofing tin, galvanized. Okay. Of course, you'll need cages. Something to hang on the cage I find very helpful. It gives me the name of the buck, the doe, the breed date, the nest date, the due date, the kindle date, the day they were born, how many were born, alive, dead, their weights at 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, if I keep them that long. Normally 8 weeks is my ending when I dispatch. At sale, if I'm going to sell them as a pet, because some of them do make good pets, 6 weeks. Start weaning them at 6 weeks, weigh them just out of curiosity. I like to know what the weigh of the doe is before, and I also know the weigh of what the buck is before, and when I'm going to rebreed. So that's the information I like to have. Foot mats, something for them to put their feet on, because this wire cage is very hard on their little pads. This I made out of plastic lattice. You just cut it to whatever size you want. It's very easy to do and cheap. I mean, and it covers a good range of the cage. They do have smaller sizes available. The reason why I got this though is because if you'll see right here, I can't stand that. So I don't like poo-poo piling up. That's the only thing I don't like about those, the blue, is that the poo-poo will pile up on it if the doe or the other bunnies use it on it. It'll pile up sometimes. So you have to constantly be cleaning it out. Like right here, for instance. You'll see here that Tansy's is it has some poo stuck in the middle of it. You don't really want to see that. Okay, so now let's go on to, now let's go back over here. Of course, you're going to need a watering system, and however you decide to do that is, I mean, you don't need one, but it sure does make life a lot easier. Okay, stuff of area to place things, keep things out of the weather. So this is my little go-to. My husband, he used this grating that they normally use like on catwalks and stuff. Worked perfect. Some people just had it out there in the woods, not using it. And anyway, so we put it to good use. And again, more bins. These are larger bins for the larger rabbits. No, I do not let them breed. I mean, I don't let them kit in that, because to me, that's the nest boxes is what I use, and I store all my nest boxes away from here because they can gather. I don't want them having mites in it, so I keep them away from all the animals until we're ready to use them. Let's see here, just a place to put things. Okay, again, electrical cords that can help. A fan. They need circulating air. Rabbits especially need circulating air. Here I have 3 fans, and that's only because I'm experimenting on which one's going to work the best from in here. This is my workstation, my hospital, and all the my note-taking area, all the above. Clips come in real handy. I save the bell string, hay bell strings, a place to put your extra fur that the bunnies you find, or when you're brushing them, which I like to brush them, and the fur that comes into the brush I just take and put in here. Some gloves that are going to keep you from being bitten if you've got a wild bunny. I had a hard lesson learned there. A timer for your fan, a sanitizer. Anytime you're messing with a sick bunny, or any bunnies really, if you're going from cage to cage, you can be spreading disease from cage to cage. Now, I'm not gonna, like pet this bunny here, sanitize, and pet another bunny. I'm gonna go ahead and just pet. However, if I notice that bunny doesn't look real good or something's not right on it, then yes, I will sanitize my hands. Spray bottles. If you're like me, you need glasses, and these are some antique glasses I found, and I put them to good use. They're bifocals, and I don't look pretty in them, but I do like to wear them. Of course, I got more glass. I got glasses everywhere. This is my feed bucket. What I call my spoiler feed bucket. Oh, look at this. See, I told you they love playing with those little bowls. And those bowls come in real handy. I put the crumbles left over from alfalfa in there, and they eat that, and then they take the bowl and chunk it up and chunk it around and play with it. Apple wood chips, which is what her butt is at the end of her butt over there. They work real good. I just buy the kind of apple wood that you use to cook with without any flavorings added or preservatives or what. It's just natural wood. So back to this bucket. In humid areas, or in your area, you may come across time, I know I do, where the feed is moist. And I live in a very humid area, so when the feed is moist, I put every morning I go and check the feed, and I bring my little red bucket with me, and then I take it and I empty out the feeders. And then I add a little oats and a little sunflower seeds, and I feed it to those guys right over there, just chunking it over the fence. Okay? And I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so let's see here. Where was we? Now we got that. If you're got the work area by a rabbit cage, you might want some protection. Towels. Old towels you got hanging around. A radio. They like listening to, it seems like they like listening to music. A place to record weights, notes, the such. Something that maybe you have information that you found on the internet that's really helpful. Paper towels, scissors. Oh, let's see here. Tags, pens, markers. Okay, so that's what's in there. And normally my information on my rabbits is right there. However, it's being used for kind of cock that fan. You might need light bulbs if you're using the heat fan. Things to hold water, purified water in. I don't know why that fell. Disinfectant wipes, you may need those. A place to go and some place to put your bunnies in, when you're going to get your babies, you can pile them all in, and then you can bring them, weigh them. So, and then the adults, it works good for working on them. It keeps them secure and where they're not jumping all over the place. Maybe a table. I find I need a table. Trash can. Cinder blocks for that table to make it higher. A scale. I just use a baby scale. A file cabinet. I found this. They weren't using it, so hello. I'm using it now. Items in that file cabinet staple gun, J-clamp tools and clips, zip ties. Oh, what are these? That's more J-clamps. Tape. So that's in that drawer. Medication items. Something to listen to their lungs. This was just six or $8. A magnifying glass that has a light on it. If you're like me, this really helps on being able to see inside their ears, close up on their teeth if you need to. So magnifying glass really helps. Clippers to clip their nails. Okay, something to treat nest box eye. I use a solution of colloidal silver and purified water. Alcohol, maybe something to feed the babies with. I've had to use this one time. My buck was constipated. He had his water had emptied out on him. That's why I make sure I test water twice a day now. That day I had only tested it once, and by that time that evening, his water was out. So I had to put mineral oil in him, and it was an ordeal. I thought I was going to lose my poor boy. Apple cider vinegar, stuff for ear mites, and so that's in that drawer. And then this is gloves. These gloves, I can put these on, and I also massage the bunnies and get their hair off. You might want gloves that are the vinyl gloves, throwaway gloves for when you're working on a bunny that's or cleaning out. You got something to protect it with. So those are the things that have helped me out a lot. I'd say the biggest help I have right now is lights. That also, lights. Light up your area where you can see. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Dusty hay problems. Well, this is my solution. I take the hay, I fluff it up, I beat that bag up against a tree or something hard and get that dust out of it. It's just a horse hay bag. That's all it is. Watering systems. Either you can go all out with the pipes and the water nipples and have an automatic watering system where you just run a water hose, or you can pipe it out there to your rabbitry. In the summertime, rabbits are going to drink a ton of water. So if you don't want to have to fill it up over and over and over again, and you want to have a little bit of freedom to be able to go and do things and not be filling up water bottles, I suggest you get an automatic. You invest the time, the energy, and the money into an automatic watering system. There's two ways that I found that work for me. One is the piping using PVC. The other is tubing. The tubing is cheaper and easier to repair, so that's something to think about. You can also just have a area for them to come and drink water. Now this I do for the babies because they can't really. I do have a nipple system in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. There you go. I do have a nipple system in there, but it was for bigger rabbits, older rabbits, so it's a little difficult for them to get to. I put the water, and then I leave a little drip going, and it's constantly filling up their watering bowls. So that's one way of doing it. There are water bottles you can fill up. They seem to like the roller better. So these right here, yes, this one needs to be cleaned. It's just sitting up there. I took it out of a cage and just haven't gone and cleaned it out, but they do need to be kept clean. So those are some things you can do for watering systems. Just be sure you keep it clean. You keep them plenty of water. Rabbits drink a lot of water. They need that, especially to digest their hay and their pellets. And check the water frequently. Here I have the tubing system. There. And that works great. I put it at multi-levels so that way the babies can get it, and also the mamas, it doesn't put them in an awkward position. feeders, you can feed out of a bowl. There. However, they do like to get in that bowl, or they do like to dump it over sometimes. Let's see here. So, or you can get the feeders that you can put a lot of food in and be able to go place, you know, free you up a little bit. Like I said, here we are, and there they are. Now, let's go on to fans. Having air circulate is important for rabbits. They have to have airflow. They have to have airflow. So, if, I mean, you can just imagine you're in say a 75-degree room, and you've got a fur coat on that's covering you from head to toe. Think how hot you're going to be. Well, they get just as hot, and their temperature is like 103, I think, degrees. So they have, they put off a lot of heat. They are hot creatures. They're built for the cold. Fans. I keep this one on a timer, and it starts at 9, and it stays on till 8, and it's circulating air. They're not getting a lot of airflow, but they are getting airflow and, you know, movement of air. Now, you don't want your fans blowing directly onto your rabbits. So kind of have it where it's skimming the top of the cage, or skimming the side of the cage, or skimming down underneath on the bottom of the cage. But keep in mind, if you have it skimming the bottom of the cage, yes, it's helping out with cooling them on the bottom, but you're also, look what's on the bottom. Yeah, so you really don't want that going up in the air. So I like to have it where it's just kind of going over their cages or on the side of their cages. That is why we have this one in the middle. It's a major blower, and it blows a lot of wind, and it just keeps that wind circulating. So the main thing is you're going to want to have something that will keep the air flowing. Even sometimes the ones that are outside, I do have a fan. You have to excuse this. We're not finished here yet. We're getting there. You will need to have, excuse me, a fan. I have this fan. It pulls the air through, and then it aims it to them, so they get airflow. Even if they're outside and it gets real hot and humid, that airflow is essential. So that's on airflow fans ideas, and what's working for me, and what's could maybe work for you. Something to transfer water in. The water pitcher works ideally for me, and it doesn't cost that much. Get it from the dollar store, and you're only going to spend a few bucks. So that works good. Invest in a water pitcher or something to carry water in. So now that we've gone over all of the little basic stuff I have, tools. I have to have a rake because I like to keep my rabbitry neat. I'm just a freak like that. I like to have a shovel and a pitchfork or a hay rake and a garden rake and something like a big huge dustpan. And then these work really good for tarps or gate closures or whatever. Of course, bungee cords. Like I said before, clips. And then we're going to go out here. Now, if you have a lot of sun, these tarps or the sunscreens work great. And then of course the little stakes to put them out there on. Maybe if you're out in your rabbitry like I am and you like to sitting is real nice. Having a place to sit. Water hose, bringing your water out. Another place to work on. or set things on. Another fans, electrical coming out, broom, little dustpan, that helps. Thermometers. I like to know how hot the area is that my bunnies are in. Water bottles, and I like the roll nipple with the little roller on it. Water bottles. Let's see, what else? In the summertime, the little tiles, I use the ceramic tiles. I'll put those in there after I put them in the freezer, and it helps cool them down, especially those ones that are real hot natured. So that, maybe something to grow your rabbits some food in. I've got to replant that. A place for composting. Yeah, that's coming real handy. And a place to wash everything up. And then maybe some chickens to go through and peck and get all the bugs out of everything. All right, that's it, I think. So, now you know. Hope this helps. And I'll be talking to you later. I know I've gone over my 15 minutes. Oh my goodness. So, I'll see you later. Bye now.